Raw review for the May 26th episode of Raw. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, kind of a sandwich Raw here right after Saturday Night Main Event, just before Money in the Banks. What will we get? We got a lot of recaps, a lot of promotion.
Yeah, it was a long one, but it was a lot of fun with you guys on the live stream, youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod. Come watch it with us. It's a lot of fun, but let's get into it. Saturday Night Main Event. Bronson Reed, he joined whatever the hell Seth Rollins' faction is going to be called. Still no name there, but they started Raw. Seth and all of them came out. Braun, Bronson, and Paul were all dressed in black. Seth Rollins, shiny white suit, looking good. And Mr. Paul Heyman took over the mic duties to start the night. He said he was going to introduce all the players standing in the ring. He introduced Braun as the key to the future, and let me just say, he goes into further detail on all this stuff, all right? He hypes them all up pretty well. He calls Bronson a violent man trapped in a PG era and then he mentioned that he targeted Seth Rollins to earn the right to kind of be here. So he's got all the balls in the world, basically. And then Seth Rollins is the future of the industry, and he tells us all to acknowledge him, which is something to obviously keep a lookout for. Seth takes the mic then and says, "Make no mistake, this is my vision. This is the way forward for the WWE. It's all about total control, total domination, and total power. And you all decide to question me because the fans are booing him. Yet you sing my song, you hypocrites." He said, "I'm the only one who can lead us into the future, and power comes through championships. And I don't have a championship because Sami Zayn and Punk screwed me over. Punk learned that lesson at Saturday Night Main Event, not to mess with me. Sami will learn tonight in my Money in the Bank qualifier match. And there's one thing that gives you power other than championships here in wrestling, and it is the Money in the Bank briefcase." So he's going to go after that. And yeah, that was basically it for the beginning. But it took a lot longer. This was a very long opening promo. Basically just to say, hey, our group is cool, and I'm going after the Money in the Bank. I'll give it a pass. I'll pop it, but it was a bit long.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit too long, by maybe 5 minutes or so, roughly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good stuff. We wanted the talks from Paul Heyman. You specifically said you wanted some sort of acknowledgement of Bronson Reed attacking Seth, and how does that all come into play? You kind of got that a little bit, kind of a quick tie up on the loose end there. And then he just promotes all three of these guys. Hey, these guys are all badasses, basically. And it was like, okay, cool. Nothing from Bronson Reed, nothing from Braun Breaker, which is kind of what we're expecting, right? Seth and Paul to do all the talking. Paul was in prime form right off the bat. Paul was ready to go and geared up, even doing the like Brock Lesnar for Braun Breaker and the Roman Reigns acknowledge me, like you said. So a lot of hints at different stuff here. Paul was in grade A top tier form here. It was good stuff. A little long, but good stuff.
Yeah, not much more to say. They need a name for the group. That's all I want.
Yeah, I was hoping we get that tonight.
I think they're going to call it the Vision at this point. He keeps saying this is my vision, my vision. So the Vision is looking like it's going to be the leading favorite for the name. But we got our first Money in the Bank qualifier match up next. It was Chad Gable taking on Dragon Lee, taking on Penta. And boy, oh boy, this one slapped. And by slapped, I mean, I can't believe Chad Gable's walking after this match, because the Luchadors obviously teamed on Chad Gable right away because of the past 5 months of WWE programming. Chad Gable doesn't like Luchadors, so they tagged on him. And we did get to the point where they were all fighting each other and the Luchas got over their teamwork. But Penta got Dragon Lee up in like an Alabama slam position and then Chad Gable in a pile driver position all at the same time and did the move. Chad Gable lands on his neck, face, looked terrible, but I guess he's good. He gets thrown out of the ring, and then Penta suicide dives into both of them, and Chad eats a boot there. Dude was getting destroyed the entire match. It was announced beforehand, though, on Saturday Night Main Event, that Chad has a match against El Vikingo. I can't say his whole name. Hijo Vikingo at Worlds Collide coming up here in a few weeks, and Vikingo is sitting in the crowd. Chad Gable saw him. They obviously did not like each other. Dragon Lee comes flying over the top rope, takes out Penta, and while the ref's checking on them, Chad Gable takes a cheat shot at Vikingo. And so you got that going on in the crowd. But eventually we have all hell breaking loose in the ring. Chad would go up to the top rope to go for his finisher, but Vikingo's there. Triple threat rules, no DQ. He shoves him off the top rope. Penta hits a Penta driver on Chad Gable. 1, 2, 3. Penta is able to qualify for the Money in the Bank over Chad Gable, over Dragon Lee. Loved the decision and loved the freaking match. Popping it.
Yeah, you knew Penta was not missing out on Money in the Bank here. Chad is the MVP of the match, and once again, kind of just the MVP of like, hey, what's next for Chad Gable? I know he's got a big prominent match at Worlds Collide, but he needs to do something on WWE TV that's of substance, so maybe we get that eventually. Match was phenomenal. Match was fantastic. High action, fast paced, boom, 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 boom. It was awesome. It was exactly what we kind of wanted to start the show with, especially after the longer promo in the beginning. You're like, let's kind of reel us back in, hook us back in, make us excited again. This was phenomenal. Right guy gets the win here. Chad, hopefully he gets something going his way because I know we've been asking for that for quite some time.
Yeah, Penta looks great here. He's going to be absolutely fantastic in Money in the Bank. Chad and Vikingo match is going to be fantastic on Worlds Collide. Chad Gable is an absolute dog for the amount of punishment he took during this match. So that man just deserves everything that he's getting. So, right decision here by WWE. Chad looked great. Dragon Lee looks great. Penta looks great.
Yeah, and there was that, we didn't even mention it, but there was that powerbomb that he ate too.
Yeah, he had another powerbomb landing on his neck there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine.
He's bleeding.
Yeah, he got kicked in the head, which I assume he had like a knot on his head that exploded. Boom.
Yeah,
Normal casual Monday night.
Normal night for Chad Gable. He'd be all right. Anyway, we go backstage. Judgment Day's backstage. Everybody's doing their thing. We just have a whole pan camera shot. Everybody doing their thing. Dom and Carlito are chilling, playing some 2K PS5. Wish I could get paid to do that. That'd be fun. But you see Miss Roxanne walk up with a platter of chicken nuggies. Dom takes one. And then she starts massaging his shoulder because Dom was, he's playing 2K,
Well, and he's going to carry that IC title.
And holding the IC title. And while she starts to massage his shoulder, Liv Morgan is there. She has return. Crowd pops, obviously. And Liv looks at him like, oh, what the hell are you doing here? And Dom's like, hey, you're back. With the whole time zone thing. I didn't really know when you were going to be back. And, she obviously looks mad, but she says she'll talk about the Dom stuff later, that Raquel has been keeping her in on the loop. But meanwhile, she wants to go talk to Adam Pearce about having a Money in the Bank qualifier match. But there will be more on this later in the night. So we'll get to it. But good to see Liv back no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. I thought when she said later tonight, we would get, I don't know, more of like a
promo
standalone. Like, hey, we didn't get that. But maybe next time.
Then we get Rusev versus Tozawa. This was about as long as I'm about to say in this sentence. Rusev comes out. Tozawa gets like one or two moves of offense in. I don't think Rusev ever fell down. Rusev then takes over, puts in the accolade lock. Tozawa doesn't tap. He just passes out, basically. Yeah. Did he tap? He gets destroyed anyway. But Rusev keeps the hold in afterward. Ref is like, oh, please stop, please stop, please stop. Sheamus music hits. He comes out. Rusev undoes the lock. They do a stare down. They kind of circle each other, and Rusev leaves. And that's it. Rusev versus Sheamus looks to be on its way, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's much needed because what they've done with Rusev so far has been an from me, but something to look forward to. Overall, though, dropping the hell out of this.
Yeah, I'm going to drop this as well. It's kind of the same exact thing. I am excited for Rusev Sheamus. I almost just wish that was kind of the route they took right away, or, maybe bring Sheamus back. I can't remember if Sheamus was exactly on TV at the time. I know he had some time off, but Rusev just destroying the Alpha Babes doesn't really do anything for anybody. Just makes you feel bad for the Alpha Babes all the time. Sheamus is now the protector of them. And we get Sheamus versus Rusev. Going to be a lot of hard-hitting matches, so I'm here for that.
Yeah, Rusev, Sheamus, going to be great. I don't really know. You're going to immediately run into a little bit of a snag when it comes to, like, what is this for? Because none of them are going to go for Dom right away, given all the storylines that Dom is sort of wrapped in. So it's going to be just kind of a blood feud, which is fun. We haven't seen that in WWE in quite some time, in my opinion. We have, like, Damian and Drew and stuff like that on SmackDown, I guess. But on Raw, it's been a while since we've just had, like, a nice little blood feud. So it'll be nice to see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to throw in one more drop here because I need to mention it. We got a Burt Kreischer, Tom Segura segment with the War Raiders just promoting Netflix. This is sort of just a drop all the way about, to carry the conversation from Saturday Night Main Event over as well. Just too many damn commercials, too many damn advertisements, man. I want to watch wrestling. I want to watch wrestling. All right. I'm dropping this for a little bit. Just throwing that in there. But then we get Sammy and Jay backstage. Sammy wants to go after Seth and them, but Jay says, I got you back, bro. Win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And that was that. Speeding through things here.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bits and pieces where there was a lot of time tonight that you're like, a lot of filler stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fluff at times.
Yeah.
So you could just kind of breeze over it.
Tag team championships are on the line. New Day, American Made, and the War Raiders. And before the ref could even hit the bell, they were all destroying each other. Going crazy. They even had Eric pick up Ivar and body slam him onto everybody on the outside of the ring. That was pretty something. Anyway, New Day and American Made kind of have this buddy system going on. New Day's been American Made's like biggest friends over the past few weeks. Why? I don't really know, but they're heel guys, so they get to be a heel team during this.
Heel guys, and they see potential.
Yeah, they were kind of throwing the War Raiders all over the ring tonight against the barricades, all this good stuff. Eventually, though, Julius would get a tag in that nobody saw. He tags somebody, and because it's one of those triple threat tag team matches where only 2 people can be in the ring, but you have 3 teams. It's a sloppy rule no matter what. But he makes a tag and then gets booted off the apron, so no one knows who's legal here. All hell breaks loose at this point. I mean, everybody's going crazy. I think it's Eric on the top rope, and Julius then comes in and tries to do a running move of some sort, like he was going to knee him or kick him off the top rope or something, and he does it, but his foot gets caught in the rope. That leads to Xavier Woods rolling him up. 1, 2, 3. New Day remain tag team champions here. This is actually a fun match for a Raw tag team match. I will give it a pop. Do I care about the storylines anymore? No, I don't. We don't. My mindset toward the Raw tag team division does not change from this match. But in terms of match quality compared to what's normally going on Raw, this was a solid tag match. I'll give it the pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. There's a few teams in here that we really enjoy watching with the Creeds and with New Day. War Raiders, we're there to kind of just do stuff, I guess. And like you said, not really caring about the storylines. We've kind of all acknowledged, okay, the storylines really aren't that great here. But I think there is promise for a good storyline here of the New Day being the buddy, building up the Creed brothers for, a couple of weeks and then turning their backs on the Creed brothers essentially to keep the tag titles. So maybe that turns into something here. Ultimately, if we get New Day versus the Creeds out of this, you sign me up for that all the time. War Raiders, I don't really know what they do. I don't really care either.
Yeah, ditto. I guess the literally the only interesting tag team match on Raw to me is New Day versus American Made. I mean, that's about it at this point. The War Raiders are good. They're fun in the ring, I guess, but I don't have any attachment to them. They come out every week. They yell war. You do get a little bit of crowd reaction from that kind of stuff, but to me, it really is just, I love Julius Creed. I love the Creed bros. I wish they were in a better spot than they are now just overall. I think they should be the champions running around, and teams should be trying to take them down. So the sooner we get the belts on them, the better, in my opinion. And that's just kind of how I feel about the Raw division.
Yeah, we really kind of need just a Raw reset for the tag division.
Yeah.
We need some different teams, some SmackDown teams to come over of some sort. You could do some shuffling some way, somehow. Maybe we eventually get that if there is the supposed draft, but I'm not really going to hold out hope. I know a lot of people keep saying, what about a draft? What about a draft?
Yeah.
I'm not really going to be as hopeful that there's going to be one, but that could save the tag division.
Man, I hope so. I would love a draft. Anyway, Liv and Raquel on the way to Adam Pearce's office to talk about that Money in the Bank qualifier. They run into Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And Liv's like, ha, 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 ha. Kairi didn't qualify for the Money in the Bank. And when I win the Money in the Bank, I'm coming for you, Io. And Kairi's like, I don't like you talking to me like that. Let's have a match tonight. Liv says, deal. So we get that later. Fun times.
And then Raquel's like, you messed up.
Yeah.
Raquel's just talking trash the whole night.
Yeah, Raquel is
Everybody
talking trash.
in the background.
Jay is here, though. Yeet. He comes out. He says, Logan, Paul, and John Cena will be yeeted at Money in the Bank when Gunther's music hits. Gunther. And Gunther comes and says, I got to congratulate you on a few things. First off, congratulations on 15 years of the Usos. Mm-hmm. Good of Gunther to say that. Mm-hmm. Good guy, Gunther. And he goes, congrats on a successful title defense. You're holding that belt longer than I expected, but I can see it. Being a champion just does not come natural to you. You just don't have it. You know you need to do what I do. Just only care about yourself, Jay. That's what you need to do. And you're not doing it. And after Money in the Bank, when you're still champion, I will choke you out. That's when Jay takes the mic. He says, I'm done with people trying to tell me to turn my back on others and my family. I have friends and I trust them. So go ahead and judge me. You fight for less than what I fight for, Mr. Gunther. I know you in and out at this point. At the end of the day, I will fight for them and I will choke you out. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. Look, I'm at the point here where we've seen the Jay Gunther promos 100 times at this point. I like them in the ring. I think they have good chemistry in the ring. I like their matches. I already know we're getting this match, but it feels like at this point, we are just saying the same thing every single time Jay and Gunther are in a ring. And I'm kind of over it, honestly. I'm dropping it.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to drop it. I guess my only question, though, would be like, what would you have them say? I feel like they've kind of backed themselves in a corner. There's nothing really for Gunther to do currently. There's nothing really for Jay to do in terms of the main title stuff. So you kind of just have to keep doing that. Now, I think we all can agree the Money in the Bank winner is going to cash in some way, somehow. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of happens, how that unfolds. But yeah, they've had this match multiple times now, and they've kind of had the same storyline all throughout the whole time. So it's just one thing that, like, just get us to Monday Night Raw, get us to Phoenix, and we'll have the match again, and that'll be that. And that's kind of all I'm expecting at this point.
You're right. It is a what are you going to do situation. You need to have Gunther on TV, and you do need to, quote unquote, build the next match. But I'm just at the point where we saw Gunther and Jay fight at the first Saturday Night Main Event before the Royal Rumble. It's literally been that long of Jay and Gunther. And the same promos have really been said over and over and over again. It ends with a Jay yeet every single time, which is fine. But I don't know. We need to insert some sort of life into this feud if we're going to keep doing it for a whole nother 2 or 3 weeks again. Like, I need Gunther to cross another line. But at the same time, you also need to build the Logan Paul tag team match thing. So it's just a sticky situation, but I'm just kind of tired of seeing the same promo between them over and over and over.
Yeah, for me, we do only have a couple weeks left of it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like, the more important thing that Jay's going to be building towards is the Cody, John, Logan stuff. And so that's going to be predominantly where some of that is, with Gunther kind of being like a side quest in a sense sort of thing. And so it's just like, okay, I don't really need anything else injected into it. I will just kind of deal with it, and I'll just, okay, yeah, it is what it is. We'll get this, and we'll get there, and it'll be done.
Hope you're right. But then we got some good stuff here. Liv, Kairi Sane, they're in a match. That's awesome. Liv's back. It was back and forth until Liv decided to powerbomb this woman onto the outside, and she threw it. Kairi hit the pavement hard. It was tough. Kairi would even spear Liv when they got back in the ring. Didn't know Kairi had a spear. Everybody's got one.
Solid spear.
Everybody's got one nowadays. She did a flying forearm as well to follow it up. Got the 1-2. Ooh, it was real good. She put Liv into like a scorpion submission thing.
Shoulders were on the mat.
Yeah. Michael Cole said shoulders were on the mat. It might be a pin while Liv was face down. Be a weird pin, Mr. Michael Cole. Eventually, Liv hit a backstabber, and Kairi would hit this Alabama slam, and she'd go up to the top rope to go for the insane elbow, but Roxanne's there. Roxanne shoves Kairi off the top rope while Raquel is kind of messing with the ref. And Liv turns around to look at what happened, and what she sees is Raquel pissed at Roxanne. She's pissed at her, and that distracts Liv. Liv's like looking at Raquel like, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Oh, I have a match to win. So she gets up. She takes too much time, and when she does that, she goes after Kairi to do the Oblivion, but Kairi's able to dodge it, roll up Liv. 1, 2, 3. Kairi Sane gets the win here. After the match, we go backstage, and everybody's yelling at each other. The audio for WWE cut out for the first half of the backstage Judgment Day stuff, but we did hear that Liv looks at Raquel and says, Raquel, you're a veteran. You should know better. So, Liv Morgan is back. She loses to Kairi Sane, but Roxanne is actually the one that tries to help her win that match, while Raquel ends up being the one to cost her it, and Liv kind of ends up siding with Roxanne at the end of the night. A lot of stuff happening here. I have no idea where this story's going to go, man, but I'm popping all of it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it. It's good to see Liv back. It's good to see Kairi get the win here. Much needed win for Kairi, especially, last week she takes the pin because of an unfortunate injury, so she has to take the pin. So it's nice for her to get some momentum there. Liv doesn't lose any steam there. The story is really, really good already with Roxanne and Liv and even Raquel now. We've listened to it before that, everybody, it doesn't really matter how the job gets done as long as the win happens for Liv's side of things, right? So Liv might not be a fan of Roxanne, but she was okay with it if that meant she's going to get the win. So interesting twist for her to turn her back on Raquel when she does turn her back and say, like, it's your fault. Finn is very happy. Finn is very excited. Everybody else is very just, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. Why would she say that to Raquel? Finn is very happy. He knows everything's going according to plan for him. And Roxanne I just did what I thought was best for everybody. Cannot wait for next week when I'm sure some more shenanigans are going to come.
Yeah, I like how we're not immediately doing the headbutting between Roxanne and Liv. Like, Roxanne tried to get Liv the win here tonight. So not only is she trying to win over the group as a whole, but also Liv, which makes a lot of sense, which means eventually we're going to have Liv probably turn on Raquel because we're going to have stuff like this continue where Roxanne and Raquel on the outside, and Raquel's obviously pissed about Roxanne being in the group, and through one way, shape, or form, Raquel's probably going to cost Liv on some things in the next couple of weeks. That's an interesting storyline because I thought for sure we were just going to have Liv walk right back in, be mad at Roxanne, and bada bing, bada boom, right? So we're going to get a little bit more depth to this whole story. I wonder what Dom's going to do. I wonder what Finn's going to do because Finn's obviously the puppet master behind all of it. So it's good TV. Liv's back, and I'm ready for it, man.
Well, you say that. There's some hinting maybe at that a little later.
Yeah, there is. We got a Rio promo. She says she's going to win Money in the Bank. Bada bing. Chad Gable is also looking to have El Grande Americano probably in the Money in the Bank qualifier match next week, which would absolutely be hilarious, in my opinion. Be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets destroyed.
Yeah, he got destroyed by AJ Styles. So it's looking like that match will probably be Grande, AJ, Karrion Kross.
I don't know. You think Braun Breaker was some way, somehow, I'd have to get in there?
Well, the end of the show, maybe that doesn't need to happen anymore.
Mm.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Anyway,
I guess you are right. Yep. You're right.
Lyra's here. Lyra's here. She's cutting a promo because we find out that her and Becky do have a match at Money in the Bank, a rematch. She says she wished she had a new challenger, but she wants to fight Becky again anyways because she didn't get the satisfaction of beating Becky. Becky beat her up afterward and then talked like she won the whole thing to everybody. So she's mad about that. And she says she's going to hurt her at Money in the Bank when Becky Lynch is here. And Becky says, look, I made this personal. I didn't make this personal. I just, or you cost me the Money in the Bank. That's when this got personal. After Backlash, I just got to go home with my hot husband. And Lyra threw in a joke about how that's like the only good thing about Becky Lynch or something like that. So that's compliments to Seth Rollins there, if that's how you want to look at it. But Becky says that she's the best thing to ever happen to Lyra and that title. And at Money in the Bank, she's willing to put on the line that if Lyra beats her, she'll never challenge for that title again. But if she beats Lyra, meaning Lyra, has to raise Becky's hand at the end of the match. And Lyra agrees to all of it. So at Money in the Bank, we are getting Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch in a rematch. But basically, if Lyra wins, Becky never gets another chance. But if Becky wins, Lyra's got to raise her hand. That's going to be fantastic, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm liking all of it. Pop.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. You have to pop this stuff. If it's half as good as the Backlash match, it's going to be phenomenal. The Backlash match was really good. Interesting stipulation for Becky to kind of take the Cody Rhodes approach, as you mentioned. I think Bayley's going to come out. I think Bayley's going to end up siding with Becky Lynch some way, somehow, or maybe she tries to help Lyra, ends up costing her something like that. Too many hints tonight for Lyra to say, well, I just keep one-upping you. I'm better, I'm better, I'm better, I'm better. Well, eventually you're going to get knocked down a peg or two. So I'm thinking Becky, Money in the Bank, she gets the win here.
Yeah, I think that we have Evolution 2 around the corner now, and Bayley needs to be there. There are rumors that it's going to be Bayley-Becky. That obviously makes sense because of what Becky did at WrestleMania to Bayley. So you get the Bayley comeback at Money in the Bank. You have her help Lyra retain that title. You have Lyra move on to other people for that title. And then you have Bayley and Becky going after it at Evolution. So that's what I'm seeing down the line. But either way, this match is going to be great. I still love this feud. So looking forward to all of it.
Oh, so you just have Bayley just helping Lyra and just breaking away.
Yep.
Interesting.
I mean, she would have been there for a tag team championship with Lyra if Becky didn't get in the way. No reason to be against Lyra.
I think maybe there's like an accidental.
Ooh,
maybe because
maybe.
I think I don't know, because if you look at it, Lyra versus who is down the road would be my thing. I think Becky versus Bayley kind of sells a little bit more. But
agreed. We did get Karrion Kross on the show, people. About 30 seconds. That's the big push that we need. He catches Sami Zayn walking to the ring. They go back and forth about, Karrion Kross trying to talk him into changing. And Sammy's like, get away from me. I'm going to my qualifier match. And on the way out, Karrion Kross looks at him and goes, Sammy, you're never going to win that title, right? And Sammy doesn't say a word. He just walks away. But in the background, Scarlett is standing on a ladder. Maybe reading too far into it. But that feels like Karrion Kross on a ladder, Money in the Bank sign. But
I mean, it would have to be, I would think.
he is a number one merch seller, and this man gets 30 seconds of show. Jesus, man. Anyway, we get our main event, Money in the Bank qualifier match. Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor. This was pretty damn good. Sammy would attack Seth Rollins right away because obviously Sammy's pissed at Seth Rollins. They spill out. They go on the ramp. Bunch of the match happens, within the ring, and Finn Balor gets a lot of the offense in mid-match. He's doing a lot of the good stuff here. Eventually, though, Sammy would do like a superplex to Finn, and the second he hit the superplex on Finn, Rollins comes out of nowhere with a frog splash. That was pretty cool.
Like halfway across the
Yeah,
ring.
it was awesome.
Across the ring.
Toward the end of the match, Seth and Finn actually decide to form an alliance, but it's the worst alliance of all time because Sammy just immediately hulks up and gets rid of both of them, so they're going crazy. Rollins would then pedigree both of them, but 1-2-0 on both of them. Sammy would get the Blue Thunder Bomb, and obviously that wouldn't pin anybody. Balor would do a drop kick to both of them, go for the coup de grace, but miss. Seth would then stomp Finn Balor, and the second he stomps Finn Balor, Sammy comes over, Helluva kicks Seth Rollins, goes for the pin, 1, 2, Braun Breaker's there, and he pulls out Sami Zayn, triple threat match, no DQ. So there's Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They start beating up on Sami Zayn when Jey Uso's there. Early in the night, he said he had his back, sticks to it. He comes over the barricade, jumps up on everybody, but eventually he eats a spear from Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed throws Sami Zayn into the ring post or the barricade or something. He ends up killing him.
Ring post.
When a wild, dirty Dom appears out of nowhere with a chair, just like he did at, where was it? SummerSlam? SummerSlam, he slides it into the middle of the ring, which he's getting damn good at. I mean, that chair lands dead center in the ring, man. Dead center between Finn and Seth. Well, Finn crawls over there to try to get the chair. Seth Rollins springs up, stomps Finn Balor onto the chair. Dom goes, oh no, I'm in trouble here. Seth Rollins pins 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins ends up qualifying for the Money in the Bank, but CM Punk's music hits.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet. CM Punk's music hits, and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman are like, we're just going to go meet him at the ramp. Why wait for this guy to get to the ring? So they go all the way up to like the entranceway when that means CM Punk pops out from behind Seth Rollins, hits him with the GTS, and he scoots skedaddles away from the ring into the crowd and stands up on a chair right next to some kids. Everybody's going absolutely crazy. We go off air. So Seth Rollins qualifies for the Money in the Bank match with the help of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, but CM Punk is still coming after Seth Rollins because he GTS's him after the bell. A lot happens here at the end of Raw, but Seth Rollins going for the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's interesting, man. Popping all of it.
Yeah, you talk about Money in the Bank cash-ins, and Seth Rollins is there for maybe the best of all time. It's arguably one. If it's not one, it's two. So having him in the match is fantastic, phenomenal stuff. You talk a little bit about just him having that and just him having the ability to have the power, and it all plays into it. And you have the two heavy guys, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, doing the heavy lifting to where Seth doesn't really have to do a lot. That could maybe come into play into the Money in the Bank. Complete right decision, I feel like, in my opinion. I thought maybe Sami Zayn had a pretty decent shot, but Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, that's just a force that you don't really want to mess with or can deal with. So it's like, you know what? Even if you think you can handle it, you can't. So Seth is the right call.
Yeah, Seth Rollins being in this match, it's a complete right decision, man. I really want him to win that briefcase because it just would be amazing for the storyline of whatever his faction is and Jey Uso. And we have the match with Jey and Gunther right after Money in the Bank, 2 days after Money in the Bank. And if Seth Rollins were to get away with the briefcase, that would just, I mean, all the hype would be that Seth Rollins is going to cash in during that match, right? So there's immediate hype following Money in the Bank if he wins it. The Punk stuff is interesting. He's still coming for him. So obviously CM Punk can get in there and cause a distraction or screw him out of it. So it's not 100% guaranteed, but Seth Rollins is the right decision here. Sammy not being in it is something. and Jay also tried to help Sammy. So there's just a bunch of storylines circulating this whole thing still. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins being a part of it is the right decision, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know the participants for next week's qualifying match, so who knows who's potentially in that. But to me, at least Punk and Sammy seem like they're on a collision course with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker now. So that's kind of the tag match we end up getting maybe next at this point. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to see. And then the whole other side of the thing that we didn't even mention yet. Well, I mean, we talked about it, but Dom costing Finn Balor, that's a whole other element all the way over here. But that, goes with the Judgment Day storyline stuff. Fantastic main event. Overbooked madness. I kind of enjoyed it. The match was fun. It was chaotic and hectic and ridiculous, and I loved every second of that.
I don't think Dom cost Finn. I think Finn just needs to be quicker when Dom tries to help. Put the chair right there.
Depends who you ask.
Just get up, bro. Pick up the chair and win the damn match.
It's going to be interesting to see which side Liv takes.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's going to be a big point next week.
Look at that. A reason to watch. That's why we watched the damn thing, right? Anyway, we ended up giving this 12 pops to 5 drops, but I'd give the episode overall a C minus. It was long. A lot of fluff in the middle there, but it ended up being fun. The bookends were great. So that leads to a pretty good show at some points. Anyway, we loved watching it with you guys on the live stream on our youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod. We do Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs live, so be there. And then, of course, for everything else, it's @CodWrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio. It's got everything there, all of our socials. Please go follow. We are confident that you guys would love this type of wrestling content. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.